All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about a tool you see everywhere in modern engineering, Datadog. What's the big deal? Well, it's all about taking monitoring and this idea of observability and smashing them together into one really powerful platform.
So let's start with the problem Datadog is trying to solve. Look, your application isn't just one simple little program anymore, is it? No way. It's this huge, sprawling thing with microservices, cloud stuff, databases, third-party APIs. It's a lot. So when something breaks, and it always breaks, how on earth do you even begin to see the whole picture?
That's the exact question that leads us to Datadog. So let's really break down what it is and how it gives you that clarity you so desperately need.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. But the word you really need to latch onto here is observability. What does that even mean? Well, think of it like this. It's the power to ask your system any question, even questions you didn't know you'd need to ask. It's way beyond just checking if a server is up or down. It's about truly understanding the why behind what's happening inside your production systems.
You can really boil down what it does into these 3 simple steps. First, it just collects data from, well, everywhere. Then it helps you visualize all of that data in a way that makes sense. And finally, the most important part, it gives you the tools to connect the dots so you can actually understand the story your system is trying to tell you.
So when we say data, what are we actually talking about? It really comes down to these 4 big things. You've got metrics, the numbers, CPU usage, memory, how many requests are coming in. Then you have logs, which are like the diary of your application, writing down everything that happened and when. Traces, now these are super cool. A trace follows one single user request on its entire journey through your system, jumping from service to service. And finally, events, which are just distinct things that happened, a code push, an alert firing off. The absolute game changer here is that Datadog pulls all of this stuff together and connects the dots for you.
And that brings me to a really important point. You have to understand that Datadog is a big step up from the tools we used to have. It's so much more than just another monitoring tool.
Yeah, just look at the difference here. The old way of monitoring, on the left, was all about server health. Is the CPU high? Is the disk getting full? Pretty basic stuff. But Datadog's approach, on the right, is about connecting everything. It links the health of that server to the actual application code running on it, and even connects that to the experience your end user is having. It's the whole picture.
Now, because Datadog does so much, there are a few myths that have popped up about what it is and what it does. So let's just do a quick lightning round and clear those up.
So the first myth is this idea that you have to rip out your entire existing logging setup and replace it with Datadog.
But that's not how it works at all. Datadog isn't a logging library, it's a collector. Your app keeps generating logs exactly the way it does now. Datadog just plugs in, gathers them all up, and makes them searchable and useful.
Okay, myth number 2, that Datadog is some kind of silver bullet. You just turn it on and bam, all your monitoring problems are solved, no thinking required.
The truth is, Datadog is an amazing tool for showing you things, but it can only show you what you tell it to look at. You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, it's totally true here. If you monitor junk, you're just going to get really pretty dashboards full of junk. The tool is only as good as the strategy you build around it.
And it's so important to know, this isn't just for old-school servers sitting in a rack somewhere. Datadog was born in the cloud era. So if you're using AWS or Azure, running things in Kubernetes, dealing with databases or message queues, or even going serverless, yep, there's an integration for that.
Another thing that's a huge deal is that it's a SaaS platform, software as a service. What that means for you is that you don't have to worry about building, scaling, and maintaining the massive system that's needed to process all this data. Datadog does it for you.
And that's a massive advantage. Your job is pretty simple. You install these little agents or set up some integrations on your systems. That's it. From that point on, Datadog's own massive infrastructure takes care of all the heavy lifting, the storage, the scaling, the processing. It saves you an incredible amount of time and effort.
Okay, so this all leads to the big question, why? Why do so many companies pay for a platform like this? Well, it all comes down to one word, unification.
And this is where the rubber meets the road. For any tech team, there are 2 numbers that matter a ton. First, how long does it take to even know something is broken? And second, how long does it take to fix it? Because Datadog brings everything together, it absolutely crushes both of those numbers. Just imagine, you see a latency spike, and right there on the same screen is the exact error log and the code deployment that caused it. Boom. You're not spending hours hunting, you're fixing things in minutes.
And you get there by chasing this ideal, the single pane of glass. It's a term you hear all the time, but it just means having one place, one screen to look at to see everything that's going on, without having to frantically click between a dozen different browser tabs.
And that's really the perfect summary right here. The old way on the left, that was chaos. An engineer with 20 tabs open during an outage trying to piece together clues from different tools. The Datadog way brings all of those clues into one place, one coherent story.
And really, that brings us to the big takeaway. A tool like Datadog isn't just about getting an alarm faster when something breaks, it's about something way bigger. It's about building a deep, intuitive feel for how your entire system behaves, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You stop guessing what's wrong and start knowing, because the data is right there telling you the full story.